And welcome back to another exciting, thrilling, bombastic, out-of-its-mind episode of Turn the Page. That's right, we're bringing you news, we're bringing you fun, and we're bringing you topics that you may not want us to talk about, but we will. Right after you click like and subscribe, and then share it with your grandmother. Actually, call her up. We know your finger's not broken. She knows your finger's not broken. Call her on the phone and say, Grandma, watch this show with me. She's loving it. And then we're going to move right on into the news. Now, one of the biggest things going on right now for nerds of our caliber, that's right, at least a 50 caliber nerd needs to be involved in this, is toy fairs. They've got toy fairs going on all over the place, releasing all sorts of new goodies for us to get excited about.
Yes.
And my friend, Ronnie, is going to... You want me to talk about toys? I talk to you about the things that
I will talk about toys right now.
But yeah, go ahead and tell us some of the biggest news that they got coming down the pike for the collectors among our audience.
Well,
13
for the first time ever, we're actually getting real 6-inch G.I. Joe figures. Which...
That could excite people, and that could also make some older people from Vietnam era mad. Because the 3.5...
That's a classic.
That's a classic.
That's a cult classic.
That's a classic. Because everybody was shorter back then. It's talking about how everybody's getting taller, I think.
Yeah, twice as taller.
Yeah. So they've got the 6-inch G.I. Joes coming out. I've seen the Snake Eyes photos. I'll actually have Dan find a picture of that and post it up for you on the video, so you'll actually see it right here.
Snake Eyes actually have that pre-ordered now.
He's got weapons galore. He's got like a whole bookshelf full of like swords and sai and machetes.
That's where you keep your swords and sais.
He had more weapons than the Liefeld cover, which is
more weapons than a Liefeld cover. That's true.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of weapons.
And that's actually one of Liefeld's better covers that I've ever seen.
It is. It's actually pretty good.
Was that the Snake Eyes cover?
The Snake Eyes.
Yeah, it's actually pretty good.
It was actually pretty good. He had fingers and he was in some sort of proportion. It was good.
Yeah.
I give you credit for that one. You tried real hard off of whatever picture you looked at.
And the other three figures releasing in the first wave is going to be Scarlet, Roadblock, and Duke.
Of course, Duke. But see, if I actually get the 6-inch Duke, you know what I'm going to have to do to it? I'm going to have to break off his left arm. Because my Duke growing up, my 3.5 little Duke, his arm broke off, like, right after I got him. Did that put him out of commission? No, sir. No, sir. He was an amputee fighting machine. He still kicked butt every single day. Stole this huge jet from the Cobra.
We need that kind of representation. You know, where's
the amputee guy?
Yeah.
I want one, Cyborg.
Cyborg, yeah.
He's representation of amputees.
Oh,
Cyborg
God, yeah.
parts.
Deathlock.
Yeah, Deathlock.
He's good representation.
He's not a G.I. Joe figure, though.
No, he's not. But I mean,
Dan
like
is correct.
Winter Soldier. Winter Soldier.
Also not a G.I. Joe figure.
But not a G.I. Joe figure.
Yes.
They need some cybernetic G.I. Joe figures.
Wait.
Oh,
Wasn't there a Joe figure that had a wheelchair? Am I making that up?
I think that was Extreme Ghostbusters.
You might be right.
I don't know.
Anyway.
Speaking of
Professor X?
Ghostbusters,
Professor X. Good
Hasbro got the license to do Ghostbuster figures. And they're actually releasing...
I had a lot of them growing up.
I'm talking about the original Ghostbusters.
I get you. I'm just saying I had a lot
Like
of them
the
growing up. I
cartoon?
actually had the Ectomobile.
That's cool.
I had the trap. I could it was for me, so I could throw the trap down the hall and step on this thing. It would open up. It glowed.
I had a
green.
gun and it projected ghosts onto
And
the
Dan,
wall.
I'll show you
That's
pictures that
pretty
you
cool.
can post for that too.
Right here.
But it's really cool. It's actually doing the movie figures, and then they're from the original one.
Yeah.
I like Bakeman and like...
Bill Murray.
Yeah.
But they also have Zool as well.
Is that like a mail
Super hot
special
Swedish
edition?
model Zool?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. I could get into
That
that.
one,
Now, if they had the Gatekeeper, Sigourney Weaver, I'm still in love with you.
I think it was the Gatekeeper too.
I would like the
They're doing that
Keymaster.
one.
He's pretty cool.
The Keymaster was cool.
Yeah.
And who
But-
wouldn't want a figure of him?
You know,
Who is the Keymaster?
Rick Moranis.
Rick Moranis.
Oh, okay.
The little guy.
Sorry, I haven't seen it in a long time. I need to rewatch it.
Here's
I'm
a
going
side
to
note.
before the third movie.
Wasn't it originally supposed to be John Candy?
Maybe.
I think that it was originally supposed to be John Candy as the neighbor.
Kevin, if you're
Yeah,
watching
it's
this,
probably
let
True.
us know.
Well, that whole movie was written completely different.
Or you can let Muley
Wait.
know.
Oh yeah,
Either or.
There's actually a show that everybody should check out. Not that I'm going to give out props to everybody else, but Netflix has a show that is called The Toys That Made Us. Now they have one that's called The Movies That
Oh yeah,
Made
there's
Us.
an episode.
There's a good
of
episode on
Ghostbusters.
Ghostbusters.
And they go into depth about like the
Very
making of Ghostbusters.
about Dan Aykroyd, his family's occult past, and spiritualism and everything.
Cult, not cult.
No, not cult. A cult.
A cult.
Yes. Spiritualism. Yes.
Doesn't
So-
he have a vodka now?
Do what?
I think Dan Aykroyd's got a vodka now.
Yeah, it's Skull.
It's
Crystal
good.
Skull.
I've got a
it's a
coffee.
It's
I
good.
mean, I'm all out of coffee.
I haven't-
We need like a coffee girl to make coffee.
Coffee girl. Nope. Nobody loves us like that. Now, what do they have coming down the pike for DC other than just the Todd McFarlane figures? Did they get ahead of the curve on the toy fair?
The only thing I saw so far, because this is still kind of like a preview night
Right.
tonight, the big news is going to come tomorrow, and the other one, which we'll have full coverage of that on the next TTP episode. But so far they released 2 figures from the Wonder Woman movie, 1984. Which
That's
is
going to be a good movie.
And it's a McFarlane figures. They look great.
Not
It's,
like when somebody tells you the Harley
Wonder
Quinn movie is
Woman,
going to be good.
and then
it's not.
Wonder
Isn't that-
Woman with armor as well.
Harley Quinn was not good.
Yeah, we're just talking about Harley Quinn over here. Sorry, continue.
It's okay, we disagree. I enjoyed Harley Quinn.
I haven't seen
I
it
don't.
yet. I'm
It's
getting conflicting
Elseworlds. It's
reviews.
not like the
I
comics.
enjoy Harley Quinn. This movie, crap. Timing, sequencing, cinematography, the music that they picked, everything's out of whack.
Wow.
It's like they didn't even, like they just put
I
something,
enjoyed it.
like they took a pizza and put it on a record player and then tried to scratch the pizza.
I thought you were gonna say
That
they put
sounds like
pineapple
fun.
on it, and that's
That's not what you do to the record player, dude. No.
yeah.
I was about to say
One
dang it, dang it,
page
him.
turn later.
Yeah.
Back
Turn the page.
to
Now,
Toys.
Marvel Legends, though.
Oh,
Marvel
man.
Legends is going to blow the top off the whole party, just like they always do. Hasbro's coming up with some really great stuff because they love making money and they need me to work for them.
But yeah. So first things first, they're coming out with some more Venom type toys.
Venomized characters right here that you can see.
Venomized Cap, Venomized Gwenpool, or Gwen, not Gwenpool,
Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen, thank you.
Or Ghost Spider, as they call her on the new Marvel Rising show. On yeah, just go to Disney Plus and watch that. The Heroes
Interesting.
Rising's got Miss Marvel. I was trying to figure out about her, whether or not she was supposed to be a big deal. So my daughter and I watched these Young Hero Rising cartoons that Disney Plus had. The shorts, way too short, as Rain put it when we watched it. She said, I can't even get into it. I don't know what's going on. I said, why is it so short? I said, it's called a short. And she said, well, that's stupid. Then they had a movie, which was a lot longer. That was better. It had more flow to it. You could actually get into it. And then, as Rain put it, there are 3 more movies that are shortest movies you've ever watched. So it's a short movie, 30 minutes. It's a regular episode.
Yeah.
But they
Yeah.
call the Spider-Gwen, they call her Ghost
Oh.
Spider.
Miles Morales is also the third Venomized character.
oh really?
Doesn't that just look like Black Suit Spider-Man? Like,
No.
what does that do?
No, it
Venomize a Spider-Man.
Or not
you get
Venomized, Carnage.
Carnage.
Carnalized.
Yeah, carnalized
Sounds
Miles
just-
Morales.
sounds delicious.
You can take that. I just gave you that, Marvel. Carnalized. Carnalized. Not caramelized.
And then
see,
you
I
have,
was thinking
uh,
caramelized.
Carnalized. Like carnal.
But still within the Marvel
Yeah.
Legends
I like
stuff,
caramel. I got you.
we have another one that's coming. I don't know. There's a figure that was really hard to get. The Build-A-Figure of Red Hulk. So hard to find all the pieces.
He
too.
and the Monster Venoms are coming out, so you can get Monster Venom if you want to, or
He's
you can
gonna-
get the Red Hulk figure if you want to, and they're already built for you in easy to buy packages, which for a lot of people, that's great because that means you don't have to get stupid characters such as Rock Python.
Yeah.
Who exactly, sir?
Yes.
Why did you do that to me? You did that to me because you knew I wanted to build the Hulk. And I built him. But I still have this rock python I don't want.
Why do they put characters out that?
I'll
They're
take
cheap repaints.
Oh, they're repaints.
Yeah, they
Okay.
just can cheaply, like, they make a new head sculpt all the
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
And then they just repaint the
'Cause
rest.
they got a bunch of characters. They
But
can draw
just
from.
a heads
Why would they
up
choose,
on
like,
the
So
Venomite
they
or
didn't
the
have to try
big
that.
monster Venom. It's not Matt Gargan now. Now it's Eddie Brock,
Yeah.
the new Deco, which to me is a big plus.
Yeah, because Matt Gargan, he's the Scorpion. Let's face it.
But
The
he
only
was
way I want him
terrifying
as a
as
Venom,
Venom.
yeah, but there was a Venom figure I had of him once where it actually had a Venomized scorpion tail coming out of it.
I had that
That's cool.
too. That was very
That's
cool.
neat. I love that kind of play for the actual thing. And for people who are huge X fans like myself, if you're just a mutant
Yes.
geek, then you can also find the Age of Apocalypse photos for their new Marvel Legends Age of Apocalypse series, which has Wild Child, Weapon X, X-Man. This is going to be a huge series. It looks great, and it also looks like they're going to continue on with several series of the Age of Apocalypse, because Wild Child does not come with Sabretooth, yet he has the chain that should connect to the Age of Apocalypse Sabretooth. And if you're listening, Hasbro, then please, please, by all the love that is plastic and mighty, make us a gigantic Build-A-Figure Age of Apocalypse Colossus. I will love you I'll love you forever no matter what. We're basically married. My wife will understand, but I'll still love you almost as much as her if you make that Colossus for me. Thank you. And try hard on it, just like actual Mega Sculpt, you know.
And also, thank you for making the Build-A-Figure Sugar Man, because now I do not feel obligated to
Exactly.
Sugar Man.
collect the entire
to
wave.
go with the
So,
caramelized
thank
like
you.
Venom.
I will get the entire wave, but that's because
just want
all the
X-
other figures are great.
I just want
Um,
X-Man.
You don't get Wild Child like that, though.
I just want
Or
X-Man.
Weapon X, which is Wolverine without a hand.
I just want X-Man.
So cool. So cool. And eventually I want them to make Weapon Omega, which is Apocalypse as Wolverine. He's got the
Whoa.
cannon for an arm and
Whoa.
stuff. Yeah, dude, don't even play with me on the Age of Apocalypse
That
stuff.
sounds awesome.
Love it. But you have to get further into the Uncanny X-Force to find out about that stuff. So, needless to say, I've read too many comic books in my life, but what is too much? I think you're going to ask yourself, if you love something, shouldn't you love it all the way?
Yeah.
And I do. I love comics like that. Did you ever read The Age of Apocalypse?
No.
You should. I think you would have enjoyed it. It was definitely a 90s thing, though.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't have done it today.
I can't remember.
Very
if I did
nice.
read
I didn't
some of
read
it.
any X-Men in the '90s. I was
Too busy being cool.
I was too busy being cool. Number one.
Yeah.
And at that time, the cool comic book nerds were into Image.
Image, that's
Yeah.
true. That was a big deal. I was reading my Spawn at the same time I was reading my Age
The
of
Spawn, the
Apocalypse
Savage
stuff.
Dragon, Max.
So, but eventually all those Image creators went right back to Marvel to help them out with their Heroes Reborn, which happened right after the Age of Apocalypse.
Yeah.
So
I didn't read that either.
you got to read the whole thing.
And they also have some Power Rangers figures coming out too. They're actually releasing
The Gold Ranger.
the Gold Ranger, the Zeo Ranger from,
I like the Gold Ranger.
which is awesome because now you don't have to buy a 2-pack to get him. It's a
Yeah,
single
it was
release.
super expensive.
And then you
two-pack.
also have the Blue Ranger, and then the Ranger Slayer, and then I think it was the Time Force Red Ranger, one of the two.
I didn't.
I don't know.
get
It was a Red Ranger from one of the series, but I think it was Time Force if I remember correctly.
The only thing I would have ever seen that guy in is the special episode of Power Rangers called like Forever Red,
Yeah.
where all the Red Rangers showed up, and it's like, okay, that's a cool one, that's a cool one. Who the rest of you guys? Like, stop watching after Rangers in space. Until they got to New Zealand, and then I watched the newest dinosaur. Well, New Zealand's been where they've been filming it since after
okay.
Rangers in Space. That's where it got kind of wonky for a while. And then you got like Mystic Force and all sorts of different ones going on. That was all from New Zealand. But the biggest one that I watched recently was when my daughter got into it. They had the Pterosaur Zord,
Mm.
who's a Gold Ranger too. That was a pretty good little wave. Dino Force or something like that. So it was cool. It was neat. But it's still not on the level that Saban had it at when he first stole the idea from Stan Lee.
Yeah. True. That is true. We watched that.
It's a true story.
It is.
While Saban's great, I thank him for what he did. Can you even imagine how awesome it would have been had Stan Lee come out with it?
Yeah, it probably would have ended up like Spider-Man.
Maybe. Or if Stan Lee had actually worked with Saban to help him write the stories, maybe, I don't know. It just could have been so cool.
And
It's still
on the
cool, but...
movie side of things, there have been set photos that have leaked from the Batman.
Batman.
I don't call it the
a stunt
Batman.
The
man
Batman.
riding the bat cycle, and it showed the bat suit, which I don't know if this is going to be the bat suit or one of many
The
bat
bat
suits in the
suit.
movie.
I think it's just
I mean,
the
never
batter
know.
cycle suit.
That's what I'm thinking too.
I think it's a.
And it showed he had like
stuntman
goggles over his
wearing
eyes,
a
or
stunt
like
suit.
just lenses, which I'm pretty sure are going to be white in the movie.
Hmm.
Which that'd be cool.
It could be cool.
There
Or
was-
it could completely
I
take
saw
away
the
from
ears.
the steely,
I wish the
gritty
ears were
look.
longer because I'm a big fan of the longer ear Batman.
The weird
Always have
shape
been.
to the skull piece
They're longer
only
than
makes
that.
sense if they had actually done the 1939 Batman cowl. That would have made sense with the bigger ears and the
Yeah.
larger, more bat ear-like cowl. This is just kind of like bulbous in a weird way. I'm not...
Does this mean that Robert Pattinson has a really weird forehead?
Yes, he does.
Maybe that's why.
Or he has a very elongated lower jaw, and they're trying to show that maybe that's why he has his hair always so poofy, because he has a longer lower face, and so you have to balance out what you see because all you see is from here down. If it was me, they totally wouldn't have to make this bigger; they'd have to make it smaller because I have a smaller area here. But Robert Pattinson's is like this. He's like the opposite of MBJ. He has nothing but chin.
Yeah.
All right, my opinion on
You'd
it
believe this man could be in a boxing match.
was that these are set photos, and in my experience, set photos look different than cinematically lit.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so there was someone posted a picture online. You might remember this when the Black Panther was first introduced in Winter Soldier. There's set photos from that.
Civil War.
He was first introduced in
Civil War.
Civil War.
Civil War.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right.
I'm just here to help you out.
Are you sure?
I'm
Yes.
pretty damn
Okay.
good.
Positive.
Anyway, here he is. There's a set photo of him, and tell me if that looks anything like what we got.
Well, it's all kind of loose and baggy looking, but other than
That
that,
looks pretty bad.
but it
Yeah.
still looks like the suit that they gave
Yeah.
us,
It looks
which
like
got improved by the Black Panther movie.
Yeah. So like I don't really know what.
Which there aren't a whole lot of things that I say got improved by the Black Panther movie, but the suit was one.
Yeah. But so I'm just all I'm
Well,
saying
hey,
is
the
that
next movie's going to be
don't
improved
make
by not
a
having...
don't pass judgment yet.
I'm not going to say it.
Yeah, because he died. But they'll have Namor this time, so that'll be cool. I can't wait for that.
Namor!
That'll be fun. I'm interested in it. But we're going to come back with some more opinions, and until that time, watch our lovely commercials.
Imperious Rex!
This is Dan speaking. I'm checking in just to remind you to check us out at facebook.com/turnthepageshow, where you can find pictures, you can find links to all of our videos, you can find interesting articles that we've discovered around the internet and discuss them with us. We may even mention your comments on the show. So head on over there, put a bookmark in, and come on back. I'll wait for just a moment. You should probably hurry. It looks like they're on their way back.
And welcome back. We're back from that great commercial break that you just enjoyed so thoroughly. And now we're going to talk about our actual topic. We're not going to just rant endlessly about toys. Well, they may come up again. But now we're going to talk about cult classics.
Yes.
That's right. Movies that are debatably cult classics or pop culture, or what does cult classic even mean? I'm going to let him go ahead and start us
Yeah.
off with his little, give us your Wiki. It's Jonopedia, McClayisms. Go.
Well, so when I learned that cult classic was going to be the topic, it occurred to me that I don't really have a good definition for cult classic. So I looked it up, and well, what do they mean when they say cult and what do they mean when they say classic? So I looked
Definitions.
up, yeah, what qualifies something as classic. So I looked to what makes a classic car, and apparently it's anything older than 15 years is considered a classic. Anything older,
Which at this point, 2005.
yeah, that's 2005. Anything before 2005 is considered a classic.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. So, my car.
Yes, classic.
It's classic.
Classic car. But anything older than
hear you. What did you say? What are you talking about, Sonny? I think my car's great. I got my grandma key. I'm going to get in. I'm going to drive like a hot rod. And don't forget, Jesus loves you, child.
well, classic isn't necessarily old.
Okay.
For that, you need
Just
some-
older.
Yeah, it's just a little bit older. So in cars, 25 plus years is considered antique.
So, if I was going to talk about Ghostbusters, the
Yeah,
original
the original
Ghostbusters movie,
Ghostbusters.
that is a cult antique.
Well, you could categorize it that way, but most people would just say cult classic.
Okay.
Keep things simple. But you could categorize it as a cult antique because it's older than 25 years. The
Gotcha.
Matrix is creeping up to that. That's 22 years, 21 years old. At this point.
That was actually the mother of my children.
The Matrix is the mother of your.
Well, no, that was the second movie we ever saw together. The first one was horrible. I think it had Bruce Willis dying on an asteroid.
The first movie.
That was the first movie we went on a date to. And the
Apocalypse.
second one,
No, Armageddon.
Armageddon. I don't remember most of it. But
Oh, God, I just had Aerosmith
then we
screaming in it.
we went and saw The Matrix, and then every single time we went to the movie theater after that, bought tickets to another movie, we would just go, "You want to see The Matrix again?" And then just go back to the Matrix movie and watch.
Yeah, the first
over
one
and over.
is
Dude,
a cult
yeah.
classic. Hands
It was
down.
it was amazing at the time because it was revolutionary. I feel like I actually experienced what my father did when he saw Star Wars.
Star Wars, yeah.
Something new happened, something you hadn't seen before with some of the effects and the filming angles. Bullet time.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Bullet Time.
Bullet
was
time blew my mind.
amazing.
And I don't care how many times Keanu
Dude.
Reeves said, "I know Kung Fu." It was a thrilling movie.
And when he started punching Agent Smith
Agent
really
Smith, yeah.
fast, I was like, "Oh my God,
That
they
was
can
all
do
really
a
cool.
Flash movie now."
Still, the coolest character in the whole movie was Lawrence Fishburne. Morpheus.
Absolutely.
The only guy that crosses his
hands
arms
down.
behind his back. Like,
You know,
most
yeah.
people do this. He just walked around like this all the time. And I became obsessed with that. I was like, I'm going to walk around like that.
Me
Because
too.
I'm super cool. Because if you attack me, I'm not even ready, but I'll kick you, son. And I'll wear a purple suit, and I'll have a crocodile skin black leather jacket. And someday I'll grow up, be bald, have a great speaking voice, and maybe a few
You have a
shades
good
darker.
speaking voice.
Well, when I
Not a Lawrence
walk
Fishburne.
around like that
Well,
wearing
we
a
can't all be
white
perfect.
suit
No. But
and a purple shirt.
now, in the vein of cult classics, I'm going to ask, we'll start over here with Ray Gay Ronnie, and we'll go ahead and give me, I'm going to say give me one, your top one example of what you feel is a great cult classic to you. If you were in a cult watching a movie
He is
because
in a
y'all
cult.
love that movie. Saturday Night Gaming is a cult. And if you want to join our cult, then join us every Saturday night for Saturday Night Gaming. The greatest podcast you'll ever listen to and the most fun you've ever had while sitting in the car listening to a podcast. There's the plug.
The
Top one.
Top
One.
one?
You
Just
can't-
one?
Yeah, you can't say,
Top
but
one.
I didn't mean it. No, it's got to be your top one. Like when you were a
Cult
kid,
classic.
you burned out that. Did you have VHS when you were a kid?
Yes, I did.
Okay, you burnt out that VHS. It wouldn't even play right anymore unless you re-spooled it.
Flash
Part of
Gordon.
your
Flash
you are.
Gordon with
Flash
the
Gordon.
Hawkmen.
With the
Me.
Hawkman.
Walkman.
Yeah,
Gordon's alive.
that's a good one.
It's got Dr. Doom in it.
I
That's a good one.
loved
Kind
it.
of.
Timothy
Kind of.
Dalton, Sam Jones, Max von Sydow.
What about it was the thrill for you growing up watching that? Like, what drew you into that?
It was
movie?
just so much fun. It's like colors everywhere. It's like action, all the lasers, just the design of the movie.
A football player, sports,
No,
Space.
not sports, but like just
hot ladies,
yeah, that
there's
too.
some scans.
bearded men with wings.
The Hawkmen really drew me
Always a
into it.
plus.
Timothy Dalton. I loved watching the James Bond movies with my brother, the Living Daylights and License to Kill. So that really drew me into the movie as well. And man, it's just. And the soundtrack, I love the Queen
Flash.
soundtrack.
Yes.
Savior of the universe.
Thing is, the theme is not even my favorite part. My favorite part is when the Hawkmen actually descend down and start attacking.
And the sunrise, the sunset is in
Yeah.
the background. And
Oh, yeah, that's
Bam,
great.
bam.
yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, and Queen actually did all the music for the movie.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
did.
well, Queen is that makes a classic instantly.
Mhm.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So I mean, realistically, and people that don't even like, some people just call me a movie
Okay.
addict,
Let
like a culture addict. Like
Yeah.
I'm just into it because it's a movie, or I'm into it because it's action, or it's a comic book, or something like that.
well, you're trying to connect with your culture.
I do
Find
love a
yourself in
lot of
that.
it because I love just seeing what's possible or what people are doing, what ideas are going on. But there are people who don't like movies. But if you want them to see a movie and they're going to instantly kind of get attached to it and love it, like my stepmother, she loves the Guardians of the Galaxy. Hates all other superhero stuff. She thinks it's silly, but loves the Guardians of the Galaxy because they hooked her with the music. The soundtrack
Oh, yeah.
matters. It's
It
got to
does.
flow, and it's
Yes.
got to make sense with the movie. It cannot pull a Birds of Prey Harley Quinn on you. But you, sir, your turn. I would like to know
Can I
your
add-
top one.
My top one.
In a minute, you can when he's done with
And
his
I don't
story.
know if you guys have seen this, but like it definitely like played a part in my young adulthood, and is definitely older than 15 years. And I would consider it a cult classic, like a solidly placed cult classic. And it's a Wes Anderson film called Rushmore.
Bill Murray, right?
Bill Murray is in it.
never seen it.
You have never seen Rushmore? It's a
Mm.
fantastic film. If you like Wes Anderson's style, he kind of solidified it with Rushmore.
What has he done?
He's got the kind of goofy dark comedy thing going on. It's not like spam a lot kind of comedy like slapstick. It's more highbrow, under the beaten path, crazy people humor.
He did. Do you ever hear of the Royal Tenenbaums?
Royal Tenenbaums.
I've heard of it.
Didn't he
haven't
also
seen
do
it.
Running with Scissors?
I don't think so. He did Life Aquatic,
Yeah.
both of which have Bill
Bill
Murray
Murray.
in them.
I haven't seen that one either.
He did The Talented Mr. Fox. That was a stop
I haven't
motion.
seen that one.
That was voiced by Clooney, right?
I don't recall who
I
voiced
think
it.
so.
I think it was.
He did a couple more movies. There's
Have you met my sister yet? Because you're just naming off her favorite movies.
no. I like Wes Anderson. His first film was Bottle Rocket. In itself is a classic. But for me personally,
I think this is my future brother-in-law.
Rushmore is my favorite.
All right, cool.
There's some other stuff too that are like in my top.
But it's that
5,
intelligent
but
humor that really gets into your
It's
wheelhouse.
not just that. I think it's like Wes Anderson's like
Quirky perspective on life.
his perspective on life. So I kind of like understand his characters, and like he puts himself into some of those characters. Like they're all caricatures. He's not literally Max Fisher, but Max Fisher, the character in Rushmore, is informed by Wes Anderson's experience, as all any writer's characters are informed by the author's experience.
Kind of like that Bret Easton Ellis guy, writer. He did the crazy stuff. He did
He
the one
wrote-
where the guy thought he was Jesus
He
reincarnated.
wrote Less Than Zero.
Less Than
He
Zero.
wrote American Psycho.
American Psycho. That's the one I was
Yeah,
trying to
we were
think
talking
of.
about
And
that
what was the one?
I've seen American Psycho.
It was romance.
True Romance? No, that's Roger Avery.
That's Roger Avery. It had the kid from Dawson's Creek in it, and
We were
there's
talking
three
about this
people.
earlier. I have no idea.
There's
what
three
this is.
people in it, and but the character played by Dawson's Creek guy is actually the younger brother of the character from American Psycho. So at one point in the movie, he picks up the phone and he's talking on the phone
Was
with
it
his
James
brother.
Vanderbeek? Is that-
James Vanderbeek's the
Yeah.
guy's name, yeah. And so he's actually on the phone talking to Christian Bale's character from American Psycho. That's his older
Oh.
brother
Oh,
that's
okay.
living in the city working on Wall Street.
I didn't know they were connected.
They're all connected. All Bret Easton Ellis stuff is all interconnected and interwoven.
wow, I did not
so
know that.
Peanut Gallery, look up that
looking right
for
now.
me, and let me know when you find it. Now, personally, for me though, growing up, now the thing was is I couldn't buy this VHS. Couldn't buy it. Couldn't find it. But it came on the Sci-Fi Channel, and when it came on the Sci-Fi Channel, I had my VCR
Ready to record.
and I recorded. I even went through all the trouble of stopping on the commercial breaks and then starting.
Oh wow!
I
what
was
if you forgot to
no,
record?
Rules of attraction?
no, I was
That's happened to me. before.
rules of attraction. Thank you, sir. Rules of attraction.
That's got
another Bret Easton
that's
Ellis movie.
James Vanderbeek, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the one I was talking about. So
I tried to
he's like a
watch it.
drug dealer in the
Yeah.
movie at a college campus.
I tried to
but
watch it and I just couldn't get into it.
It's you got to be really into wanting to be depressed and slightly jaded on your perspective of how you look at life.
I could see that.
That's how he
Maybe
strikes me as a writer.
There
And
was
I'm thinking that he's also I don't know, but
like a cynical writer.
he's very cynical,
Yeah.
and I think that it's one of his books that almost got Brett Kavanaugh in trouble too.
Oh really?
No, Judge. Mike Judge was the one.
Mike Judge.
Mike Judge had his own thing. So anyway, but they're all kind of similar. They're like written as a string of events that they actually somewhat experienced, but then caricaturized. Anyway, but no, for me, I got like I was saying, I was the VCR ready. I'm sitting there kneeling in front of the TV. Bam, bam. Like I wasn't even watching the movie. I was recording. I was
I tried
doing a
to
job.
do the same thing, and I ended up
Yeah.
like missing the beat on the
No,
recorder.
I'm great. I knew how many seconds. If I hit that record button,
Yeah.
it was like 3.5 seconds before we'd actually go.
Because I got into
Yeah.
it, and then I
You
was
gotta
like,
hear it.
"Oh, I didn't record this
No,
part."
dude.
So.
Yeah, no, I'm good at that. Or I was. I was like the kid that was sitting there with his boombox, waiting for his favorite music.
Oh, I did that too. I made my own tape.
Oh, I
recorded
made
from the radio.
mixtapes for
Yeah.
galore. But my movie was The Guyver.
The
Not
Guyver.
MacGyver. I don't care what you can do with a toothpick. and
No,
some
I do.
shit falls.
MacGyver that's
No.
my jam right there.
It wasn't mine. Mine was The Guyver,
I've
and it
never
was
seen
a
that.
Japanese animation. It was a manga animation overseas, and it was during that time in the '80s when we were like, "Bring us anything from Japan! Ninjas everywhere! American Ninja here!" Great movie.
Surf
Michael
Ninja.
Dudikoff.
Surf ninjas.
Surf ninjas.
Anything we can get for Gundams, Voltron.
Revenge of the Ninja.
You know, anything
Ninja
they could think
Domination.
of. We were getting all of it.
3 ninjas.
But one of those things that wasn't strictly translated was The Guyver. But it was picked up by an American film studio. And so they made like a classic Stan Winston studio monster
live action.
kind of live action. Had Mark Hamill in it.
I didn't know.
Now, at the
I did
time,
not
you
know
couldn't
that.
have told me that was Luke
Yeah.
Skywalker. I couldn't have believed it, but it was Mark Hamill. He's in it for about the first 5-10 minutes of the movie as a scientist who's lost this little Guyver unit
Yeah.
thing, which attaches to this kid's face, and then like the Venom symbiote like attaches to him and gives him bio booster armor. And that's what this is. This is the
That's what
helmet.
this whole thing.
Well, this is the Guyver Unit 3, which is this guy. That's the helmet that Ronnie actually gave to me not long ago.
It's very
This
nice.
is the Guyver Unit 1, and these are his vibro blades. They just come out of his... It was so awkward and weird to look at because it wasn't like Wolverine with
So
these
it's like
knuckle
technology
blades. It was
slash
like-
Venom.
It's Venom and Iron Man put together
Yeah.
into a suit, a
Well,
bio
that's-
booster.
And that, they're greater than the sum of their parts. So this should be
It was an amazing
super
show,
cool.
but it was a really good movie because of the monster effects and everything. Anytime he would hit somebody with his elbow sword, like arm would lop off, blood's going everywhere. But it had that great Stan Winston appeal to it.
Yeah.
So it was that real monster effects. It
And
wasn't
his-
CGI.
And his suit was the same quality as the Turtles from the live action
Oh yeah,
Turtles movie.
yeah. This was high quality.
No,
This
whole
dude
class.
was actually doing legit martial arts in that suit, which
Yeah.
that in itself is a major feat.
It was very impressive. And the thing was, is like at the time, like Ninja Turtles they didn't know whether or not it was going to take off. When
Yeah.
they did that movie, it was
Low
a
budget,
huge bet.
independent.
And
But it got somewhere. And so I think with this, that's what they were going for. They were like, well, let's take a chance. Sell it to people. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
It just didn't have the right kind of animated show backing with the lighthearted animated show. This was a gory adult animated
Yeah,
show.
I think that movie was being produced and they still had no idea how big the turtles were going to be.
Oh, yeah.
And by the time it was ready for release, turtles had become this huge thing.
Oh, yeah.
Uh,
Well, that again is on a Netflix
That
show
plays
that
at
you can
work,
watch
man.
called The Movies That Made Us and The Toys That Made Us, and you can see segments on the Ninja Turtles figures line, and you can also see segments on Eastman and Laird. You can see segments on the movie itself and how that got pushed into creation. So that's definitely something to check out if you're just you're a huge nerd for movies or comic books or toys like we are. Check that out because it's really fun to watch. You can watch. It's safe to watch with your kids, that sort of thing, and it's just a great look at our past and kind of what made us who we are. What
The movies that
informed
made us.
Yeah. So for me, it was Ninja Iron Man.
for
That's
me, it
what made
was
me.
Rushmore.
For you, it was quirky.
highbrow
quirky,
comedy.
Highbrow. You are quirky highbrow
Yeah.
comedy. I would agree with that.
for me,
And
it was
for you, it's an American man in space battling for the love of a woman against the horrible, cruel
Ming the Merciless.
Ming the Merciless, which is kind of just like
Titus some
He's
bull.
like right up there. isn't
yeah,
he?
he's right up there.
See, I
Yep.
should have brought a figure of Max Fisher. I feel left out in that.
You
What
should have.
playthings get off of me today?
Or Bill Murray. I
I'm
could have brought
scared
Bill
of
Murray
building
action.
cascades.
That is
Majesty.
everyone needs.
That would have worked.
Well, right after
All
this
peaceful
commercial
and-
break, we're going to talk to you about some more cult classics. We're going to start spitting out some names, and you're going to go, whoa, this MF is spitting. Have you ever thought to yourself that everything just seems bland, dreary? Have you ever realized that maybe your life sucks? It's like watching one Michael B. Jordan movie after another. You think to yourself, this can't be all there is to life. Well, you're right. That's not all there is to life. There's also Turn the Page. Tune in with us and we'll give you all of the details of how we feel about commercial properties, be it video games, comic books, movies, action figures, or even just actors that we dislike. We don't bash everything, but when we do, we mean it. So don't forget to tune in every other week on the given day that we download our videos and check out Turn the Page. Get on our Facebook, like us there. I'm Tony Stevens. You can just get on my page and then get to it from there. Or just type it into Google. Or just type it into other search bars. Do whatever you want to do. But at the end of the day, do what I want you to do, which is to click like, subscribe, and share with your grandmother. Because all of these women sitting lonely in their golden girls years at the retirement homes with nothing to do need to be watching Turn the Page.
Yes.
Get us where we need to be. And if you're in a foreign country, we love you for watching us and listening to our other
Absolutely.
properties on Saturday Night Gaming. So check that out as well if you like dwarves, if you like Star Wars, if you like Marvel Comics, if you like DC Comics, if you like made-up things. And look out for any published materials that will be coming out for the next year. I'll let you know on the next commercial when that's going to be.
Duh.
And we're back after another thrilling commercial block. I hope you enjoyed it. We didn't even talk about politics while you were gone. We waited for you. No, just kidding. We're going to talk more about cult classic movies. I think another one that I'd like to throw in there, just personally speaking, as it were, and I think Ronnie here will agree with me, is an old series called Darkman.
Darkman.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
that's Sam Raimi, isn't
Sam
it?
Raimi. It was like the only good movie Sam Raimi ever made.
Liam
not true.
Neeson
Disagree.
and Arnold Vosloo.
Evil Dead was pretty good too, but
Yeah,
it's good for its parody type. Mostly, I make fun
A
of
Simple
kid
Plan is pretty good.
about Spider-Man wasn't. That's all I'm really going for.
Simple Plan is good.
Yeah, he is. He's
Except-
good at doing things, just not superheroes. Unless it's Darkman, which was an anti-hero. It was pretty cool. Liam Neeson, kind of wrapped up, burned badly, bandaged, and
Yeah, it's the first time I
lives
saw
in a
Liam.
sewer. Yeah, we didn't know what
We
kind of
didn't-
skill
yeah.
set he was
No,
acquiring
no
over
way.
his long life,
Mhm.
but that's where he started acquiring that skill set.
Yeah.
And actually fixed his face, had a family, and then that daughter got kidnapped, and he was like, "Oh, I'm going to kill you." And that's how that actually happened.
It's actually,
Taken.
yeah.
Taken is
Taken-
actually sequels to
sequel.
The Dark Man.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a good cult classic, if you work your mind off to try and find a way to continue it for it. Tron was obviously a great big
Yes.
cult
Oh, yeah.
antique.
If only they had
So
Academy
good.
Awards for special effects back then. They
I mean,
totally
it was
would have won
good.
that.
It was really good, though.
Absolutely.
Even the remake that they did, or the sequelized remake,
Oh yeah,
reboot.
Legacy. That was really
Legacy
good.
was pretty darn good, and they gave a lot of homage. It
Yeah,
did.
the only reason the CGI worked was because they were in the computer. Contextually, it made sense that he looked kind of CGI.
Well, but it also gave us the ability to start making those steps.
Yeah.
Sometimes you gotta go through the movies that are taking the baby steps before
Yeah.
you get to the stuff where it's like, is that really a person or not?
Like Jar Jar Binks was necessary.
No, he wasn't.
Thank you. You know,
Let's move on from that.
Yeah.
Necessary
From
evil.
that.
But we have some other ones. A lot of people might actually throw this out there, and I think I'm gonna put the shade on it. It's The Princess Bride.
Oh, that's a classic.
Yeah.
Cult.
Very.
This is a
classic.
great movie. I mean, it had Andre the
Amigo
Giant.
Montoya.
Yes. Yes, I'm looking for the six-fingered man. Oh, this is all good. This is
Oh,
all
oh,
great.
yeah.
The
Yeah,
Death
Fred
Machine.
Savage. Fred Savage is in there.
I love the Death Machine when they're trying to kill Wesley. Wesley.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love it. He's only mostly dead, so it's okay.
He's only mostly
Yeah.
dead. Yes. I mean, it was a great movie. This is one of those ones that I think almost anybody in our age range loves this movie, has seen this movie endlessly. I mean, it's up there with like Monty Python. Somebody tried to tell me today that not that many people probably know about the Holy Grail of Monty Python, or
That's
the
not
Flying
true.
Circus, or The Life of Brian,
Brian.
or
Meaning of
The
Life.
Meaning of Life. Obviously, where I figured
Not many
out how
people know
I
The Meaning
want to
of
die.
Life.
I realized how I wanted to die when I watched The Meaning of Life. Man is chased off a
Yeah,
cliff
so,
by
yeah.
50 women. Anyway, yeah, that's how I want to die. But they're all wearing helmets.
50
So
bouncing,
safety.
bouncy women.
Beautiful, bountiful, bouncing babes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I like alliteration. It's just how I roll.
it works.
But anything from Tromaville, Toxic
Yeah.
Avenger,
Oh,
like
man.
1 through 3.
Romeo and Juliet.
No
Romeo and
tequila.
Juliet.
No, she's-
Class of
That's
Nukem
pretty
High.
cheap.
Class of
Sergeant
Nukem High was
Kabuki Man
great.
and
Sergeant
YPD.
Kabuki Man.
Yes.
I mean, and Tromaville actually gave us one of our favorite directors. James Gunn came out of
Oh,
Troma.
I did not know that.
Yeah, that's where he soaked his toes in the juices of creation, was at Troma. So he got a chance to like explore all sorts of things about his directing talent until eventually he got us some of the best movies from some of the most oddball characters you wouldn't imagine loving, and yet you do. Ooga Chukka, Ooga Chukka.
What about animation? Like cult classic
Animation.
animation.
Cult classic animation, I'm going to throw out there the best one that you couldn't ever find a copy of because the studio burned down that had all the reels, and then they had to recreate it. Akira. Akira was one of the greatest animated movies
Yes.
of all time. More cell animations per.
Oh yeah,
I mean, it's
it was
it's
a huge production.
big time, awesome movie, great story. It was just a great movie.
You also have it's a DVD here. If you can see it, it's Gundam Wing, Endless Waltz.
Which
That's very good.
with Gundam, you're gonna have, and this is the
Just
interesting
Gundam
thing,
itself
because
is a cult
Gundam
classic.
itself is just kind of pop culture. It's a big thing, but when you talk about Gundam Wing specifically,
Mhm.
there's a small sect of people who are only fans of Gundam
Only
Wing.
fans,
They
yeah.
don't really like the rest of the Gundam stuff, but when you're talking about Gundam Wing, it's like, yo, bro, that's my thing. That's my jam. Give me Epion all day long. Or if you're like
Epion.
me, you're not voting for them. You're not voting for any of the Gundams.
Right.
You're actually voting for what was his name after he stopped being Zex Marquis, the Wind and the Endless
Tall
Waltz.
Geese 3.
Yeah, the Tall Geese 3, but the guy he had a name that he went by.
Zex Marquis.
Zex Marquis was his bad guy name when he was part of the
I have no idea what they're talking.
He called himself the Wind of Justice or something like that in the whole Endless Waltz movie. It was amazing. But
Gundam Wing.
But Tallgeese was like the bad guy robot.
Mm-hmm.
It was totally not a Gundam. Wasn't made out of Gundanium or whatever makes it a Gundam. But
Did you
he's
make that up?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
Sorry.
It sounded like
it's
it
like adamantium. It's unbelievable.
Gundanium.
So Gundams are actually made of Gundanium, and they come from the colonies in the Gundam Wing series. And then you have Earth, and Earth is run
They have like Zaku's,
one of
right?
Zaku's and stuff. And so the Tallgeese was
And
the
Leos
response
and those.
to the Gundams.
Oh, okay.
So the Tallgeese was piloted by Zex Marquis to prevent the terrorists, which is what the Gundam pilots are. They're terrorists. And Zex Marquis is defending Earth, not only in the series, but in Endless Waltz. He is like a constant hero. He's like the Captain America of that show.
That's interesting.
My opinion.
No idea. It's been a while since I've seen any of that.
My opinion.
My animated feature, it's a movie, it's a cult classic to me, is Heavy Metal.
Oh, I love
Heavy
you,
Metal
dude.
is a cult classic.
Never seen
Heavy
it.
metal,
Now
and then
that
like
is
the
attractive.
Corvette is coming down, and like
Oh,
it shoots
yeah.
out the parachute, and it's
Mhm.
coming out of the spaceship, right? And it comes down, and
You
it
know.
makes entry, and then he like walks in, and he gives his daughter this orb, which starts the whole movie.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, and then that orb goes throughout space and time. It's like the Infinity Stones or something. But it goes through all of these stories, like Hand Over Fist. That whole segment was hilarious. Or the Happy Face spaceship that
Yeah.
kidnapped the lady.
I got some major heavy metal vibes when Elon Musk launched that Tesla Roadster into space with like the little spaceman mannequin.
He probably loved that movie too. He was like, "I'm gonna do
See, we're
this.
part of the same cult.
I'm gonna do this. This is gonna happen."
That's a pretty good impression.
Well, he should have me on board as like his stand-in. Like if somebody's gonna assassinate him, they get me instead.
Yeah, yeah.
Because I can't die.
I have a couple
It's
other
good talent.
It's a talent.
animated movies to mention too. The first one's going to be Ghost in the Shell.
Ghost in the Shell was
Classic.
epic.
So good.
Very good, and the live action boot that they did of it with Scarlett Johansson, I think a lot of people had some things to say about it. I say it was excellently rendered. She did a great job of being the Major.
Yeah, I mean, like lots of things were very well done with that. I feel like they didn't go as far as they could have, and I feel like they did that because they did not respect the audience well enough to be able to understand some concepts.
Well, I think that the broad audience is what they were trying to collect into that.
But see, you can
They
appeal to
weren't
both.
just going for us cultists.
Yeah.
Because if you'd gone to us, you can go heady. You can bring us like Neon Genesis Evangelion level headiness, right?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Like you can get super thick in the
That's
brain.
another good one.
It's just brain pudding is all it is. So like you're wading through the thought process trying to figure out what just happened to your life after
The
you
Angels.
watched 2
Man,
weeks
that was good.
of a VHS series. Oh my God. I had to go to Animax like
Did you-
every other day.
Did you watch the movie afterwards?
No, I haven't seen the newest one.
Well,
I
I
saw the
haven't
movie, but there's a new
one.
there's
yeah,
new
I
stuff
haven't
that's
seen
added
that.
on to that. But the
I
movie
have
itself,
the
where
new
they just sit, where they sit there, and they talk to you, like okay, so it comes in 2 halves. You get the action-packed half with all the angel
Yeah.
things that are attacking them, and you get the second half where it's like interviews of these people in the afterlife.
Or is it?
Whoa!
You know, yeah, that's like so that both those things are happening,
Well,
and then
see-
it's how you want to perceive reality.
Reality
See,
got
what it is,
mishmashed.
it's how it goes. You watch the first series, then you watch the movie, and then you watch
The new movies.
the new movies.
Which I have
It's
not
all
seen.
the
That
same.
Sounds
continuity.
chronological to me.
I mean, no, seriously, it is. It's all chronological.
But those were just so cool. Those were
Yeah.
really cool. It was
I
a
have
really
the new
epic idea.
movies.
I do need to
All
watch
right, we need
those.
to like set a day and just watch
There's a lot of
everything.
days we need to do.
It'll be a whole
to do
day.
this.
I mean, we need to go back and watch the entire Evangelion series.
Which
again.
I also
Yeah, yeah.
own.
And you need to see the Guyver.
Yeah, I haven't seen it.
The animated series that they
Yes.
rebooted is actually done faithfully to the original story, just with better animation quality.
I have that
You
too.
would love it.
Okay.
I think you would love it.
Yeah.
I think you would like the fact that it's not just like, hi-yah! It's like this kid's having it's a very horrific, tortured story.
Yeah, I like that. I like
So-
torturing children.
Yeah, torturing children's the way to
Or I
go.
like watching children be tortured.
Well, at least teenagers.
That's different.
At least teenagers.
Is it different?
Yeah.
And Studio Ghibli, man. Princess Mononoke is another.
Oh, that's that
big
guy.
one.
What's his name? Miyazaki.
Yes.
Yes.
Miyazaki comes out pretty much anything he does.
Oh, anything he
It's gonna be,
touches.
I
it's
saw-
gonna be good.
I think I was about 16 or 17. I made my mother take me to go see this when it was out in the movie theaters, and she walked away crying. She loved it so much. She was like, "That was such a deep and thoughtful story," and I was like, "Yeah, that's what you get with anime." So, you know, that was a really good movie. That was really good.
Ninja Scroll is another good one too.
Ninja Scroll was epic, but that's a little bit more into your TNA and gore,
Yeah.
which, you know, I'm not going to say that there's not an entire cult following just for TNA gore.
There's one scene of that
Street Fighter
that
2
was-
animated movie.
really stands out in my mind.
Shower scene.
Chun-Li.
Well,
The
so
Vampire
my-
Hunter D. It was no
My
Oh,
cult
wow.
classic anime wasn't even a movie. I mean, they've made a live action movie of it, but when I was a kid, and I'm older than all of you all, not by a whole lot.
I was
but
in NAM.
This is actually Moses talking to us from the
Yeah.
Internet Gallery.
Star Blazers,
Star Blazers.
which they recently made. I don't know, in the last 5 or 6 years, they made Battleship Yamato.
Oh,
which is
yes,
a live
yeah.
action.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
That was what it was called in Japan, was Battleship Yamato, and the whole story is they find this battleship sunk on the ocean. They retrofit it to a spaceship.
So kind of
and
like,
send it out to.
it's almost like Macross.
It became before Macross though.
Oh, wow. That is epically Moses.
Well, I mean, that's the way it always works. Like, you know,
He's like,
that's one
he
of my
just went
brother's
year one
favorites.
on us. He's like,
Yeah.
so in the beginning, there
in the
was
very beginning.
the anime that begot all anime.
It really
after.
it was the first anime that came to America.
Wow.
Was Star
That's pretty
Blazers.
epic. That and
my
Astro Boy.
That's one of my brother's favorites too.
Astro Boy was the
Love
first
that show.
anime. Period.
Period.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The old
So,
beast.
Astro Boy for a lot of people is very good. It's a lot of the cult following just for
That's
the
a
fact that
cult
it's
antique.
classic. Just the fact that it's classic. The Ultraman series.
Ultraman.
Oh man,
that was epic.
Ultraman.
But I mean, even here in America, we had our own classic way of doing things. In the 80s, we had Thundercats, which was a classic. We had He-Man. We
He-Man.
had G.I. Joes.
Yeah, Joe.
We had
Turtles.
Ninja Turtles. We had Transformers, which, thank you, Japan. We also got that from you.
Yeah.
But
Are we still transforming?
on top of all of that, at the end of the day, when they start remaking this stuff, please put your heart and soul into it and
Yes.
only put forth fan effort. Because if you give me another Teen Titan Go bullcrap excuse for a cartoon show and label it Thundercats Roar, I will find you and I will write you a scathing letter. I know you thought it was going to be a lot scarier than that, but it's just a scathing letter. But I just want you to know how much you hurt a 4-year-old named Tony in 1988. You hurt him. You hurt him to the soul with this Thundercats Roar BS. You make that show, and you're going to lose fans. Stop it. Stop it now. Put some effort into something
The
for
show
once in
has
your
already
damn life.
been made.
No, I'm not listening. La 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 la. That's called cult classic right there.
The show
You have
has been
fans
made.
Well, then
so
Kevin
devoted
Smith making
to telling
He-Man.
you
Yes.
that you are full of crap and you are stupid for doing something. Get your face away from the bong for 10.9 seconds and use a brain cell. Stop making these horrible shows.
Too late.
Stop it.
Okay.
But thank you,
I
Kevin
will.
Smith, for what looks like it's going to be an amazing show for He-Man and Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
Kevin-
because what do you have? You have somebody who's a fanboy. You have somebody who's given some dabbling into the writing pedigree. You have somebody who makes his own cult classics like Clerks, Dogma, Clerks
cult
2. Those are
Mallrats.
definitely cult
He's got a good
classics.
cast going,
Mallrats.
too.
He's got a great series of people that he always hires in. He actually gave us Ben Affleck, too.
He just gave them to us.
He just gave them to us.
That's
He
very
said, "Hey,
generous.
Matt Damon, how you doing? Would you
He's
like some
upstairs
Ben
right now.
Affleck?" Yeah, like we have Ben Affleck. He's enjoying his time here. He's happy. He's content. We still make him put on the Batman suit every once in a while, but
It's for the kids.
it's for the kids. And if you want to come over, get Neil deGrasse Tyson come over now and just hang out with us and Ben Affleck now.
Yeah, yeah.
This isn't serious.
We use
though.
Ben
Don't
Affleck
send
as bait
anybody
now.
after us to arrest us. We don't actually. We did
He's here
call
with us,
Ben
I
Affleck,
thought.
find him. he'll tell you we did not take him. He would probably whoop all of our
Yeah.
butts in like a single blow. He'd just be like, pow! And then like we'd all fall over.
After the training he did to fight Superman, I believe it.
I believe it too.
Yeah, me too.
And I mean, I'm the toughest guy here.
Well, he was like 50. We might be able to take him.
I don't think so. And I'm trained. I am like a fully trained, twice over
I think between
military
us,
professional.
we could take Ben Affleck.
My brain, you're still working muscles?
Maybe.
All right. Well, I'll be the mastermind and stand behind you. Dance puppet! But anyway, I mean, look at how strong a following you can get if you just give people what they want. The Simpsons never changed their recipe. That is a cult classic that is still going strong today as one of the longest running syndicated television shows in American history and in world history. Why? Because they don't change up the program. They give you what you're asking for.
Except for one.
If you give somebody what they're asking for, they will come back for more. And then also look at their Futurama show. Did a great job. People still love it. They loved it so
man,
much they started coming out
yes.
with movies after the fact. So that's my lesson to give to you, you creators, your artists, your writers, your designers, your producers, because you're really the bane of all fanboy existence, producers. You may put forth the money, but you also put forth your ideas. Stop doing that. Let the writers do their jobs. I'm talking to you, DC. And from there, I have nothing else to say that is of any worth or positivity. Thundercats Roar really has me upset.
If you can't say anything nice,
Then end the show.
I feel bad.
Right on our eye.
Watch Turn the Page. You must do it. Watch it. Turn the page, turn the page, turn the page. Drink coffee, 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 and watch Turn the Page.